Hi, welcome back to another Translator Insider. Today we are going to talk about the evolution of scams. We know that scams online are a huge problem for everyone, for any small businesses, and in our industry, it's been something that it's been happening for ages, and we are always battling the evolution of these scams that have become more elaborate, etc., etc. So today I'm going to talk about this and find out simple ways that we can get away with not being scammed. So come with me, let's talk about scams. So over the years, the translation industry and other industries have been bombarded with a boom of online scams. They can come in several shapes of in forms. They can be emails, they can be phone calls, they can be fake links that appear, for example, on our socials. In fact, it's been very predominant lately, the increase of this type of scam in social media, where very elaborate scams lure you to go into websites, sales funnels that then get you into pay for something that you might think is a good idea, and you end up being scammed because they may end up taking your money and not providing anything of what is promised by the website or the ad or the sales funnel or whatever we're talking about. So it is predominant, it is increasing, and we need to do something about this, because obviously it's been something that has been happening, and it happened along the years, but is becoming more and more and more elaborate, and we need to protect ourselves basically. So in the past, we used to associate online scams with low language quality, for example, low language quality emails, using a free email account, and the scammer posing as a possible client or agency, just offering a job, etc., etc. They would ask you to log into their platform to provide details, and then you would end up being scammed, because it would be supposedly a test payment to see if everything was in order, etc. And then you would end up with your money taken. Sometimes translators would end up doing a substantial amount of work for free because they wouldn't pay. You name it. There's always been several forms of these scams that, of course, appalling, and that we always try to protect ourselves against. Now, with the evolution, they no longer use these forms that are now easily detected. Today, the scammers no longer use Google Translate to contact you, even though Google Translate, of course, has improved. So what they do? They use AI. And the problem with this is they use AI not only to compose a linguistically acceptable email that can trick you into think that is a legitimate agency or legitimate client that is trying to contact you, but they also use AI to fully impersonate legitimate companies. Could be agencies, could be real other companies in other industries, and they sometimes impersonate a very good logo that looks like the real logo, or even copying the real logo. Emails, signatures, everything look really, really legit, but when you go and you look, or when you fall for it, you'll find it's a scam. We need to be aware of this. It's very dangerous. It's been going on for a while now because, of course, these scammers, they just keep on being creative about things and they just keep on scamming you regardless. And, you need to be always one step ahead. One thing that I would recommend you to look at is the domain, because sometimes they even put up a website that really looks like the legit website. Everything looks fantastic, and then when you're going to go and fall for it or respond to that email, you end up being scammed. I have said this in many emails, in many videos before. You always need to look at the domains, because sometimes it really looks like the real domain, but there's differences. You either find there is a difference, for example, one letter, the way that is the company is spelled, or maybe an underscore if it's two words, if an underscore and the legit company doesn't have it. Look at every single possible detail on that domain, because that could be a giveaway that is fake. Secondly, you need to look at every single thing. You need to look, first of all, one of the things that I think it's important is, wherever you receive an email, never click on the links that are contained in that email. Never. You check the name of the company that is supposedly contacting you, and you search for that company online, and then you will find whatever results Google give you. You'll find the legitimate company, the website most probably is going to be there, and then you go into that website and you compare. Okay, is this the same domain? If you tick the box, it's one point for you. Can I find this name anywhere in the company? Sometimes you don't, and that does not mean it's not a legitimate company, because sometimes the person that is in charge of sending out translation projects, it's not going to be on the page unless is an agency. Sometimes the agencies have the team there, but some also don't have it. So if you don't find that particular name, that does not mean it's not going to be legitimate. It could be it, but if you look for to see if there is that email there, chances are you may have had another extra layer of assurance for yourself. Another thing that I would look is, they usually have address, etc., the office address. A legitimate signature from a company would have the address as well. Just compare, just see. They might have different subsidiaries in different parts of the world. You can compare all of those. You can see the domains. Sometimes, for example, and it happened with me already, they use the legitimate name of the company, they impersonate the logo of the company, even the domain, but instead of being a .com domain, they use a country domain, and they use from, I think in my case was from Argentina. So be aware of that. It might be even the main thing, it might be exactly like the company itself, but it might be registered with a country domain. It might be, or instead of .com, instead of .com.org, or something else. Be very aware of that. Every single detail on that domain needs to be scrutinized, and you need to understand if it's really the same thing. When it's a company, well, even if it's a company, even whatever email, never follow links, and then even a private client. I must say, even when I receive an inquiry from a private client, I always search for that name online and see what comes up, because sometimes you may look for that name online and you get a whole bunch of entries of people complaining that it's a scam, that it's not legit, that this, that, and that is your red flag. So be careful about that. If you don't find any company with that name, then is your answer doesn't exist. The bottom line here, you cannot be trusting these days, even if it looks very good. I've seen recently scammers posing as banks, scammers posing as telco companies. They are very, very creative, and they can now with AI, they can use that tool to impersonate whoever they want to and send you emails that look truly legit, even your own association. Be aware of that. Be aware of that sort of scam as well. You know where the emails from your association, from your accrediting body come from. You know usually how do they compose those emails, how do they look like, and you should also be aware that there might be someone sending you emails that look like it's your association, but it's not. And one of the things that I find important, that I always do, once I found is fraudulent, I always contact the legitimate company to tell them about it, to let them know that is someone impersonating as their company, so they are aware of this and they obviously can act on it, because it is bad for them as well. They are being victim of as much as you, basically, because these companies, they have no idea what is going on. There is a scammer posing as them, possibly trying to use or impersonate their logos, their branding, possibly registering domains and having fake, obviously sham websites that look exactly like their website. And of course, that is damaging for their reputation. And if you are aware that someone is doing that, I would say it is the right thing to let those companies know that someone is trying to impersonate them and scam people with that, because they are as victims as you. Their identity, their branding has been stolen. So be aware of that. I would definitely report. I recently reported, and it's been going doing the rounds lately. Even this morning, I just deleted one of these emails. I constantly receive emails from one person trying to sell me the database, so the contact list from OSIT. So this is very damaging. I reported it to OSIT, and OSIT already made members aware of the scam, made members aware of what is going on, and of course I believe they must be acting on this. So be very, very, very careful about that. The title, for example, today, the title of the email, they actually fished the title of the Tasmania AGM that is going to be soon, so they put that there. Obviously, we see that, we tend to open it, and then we see that it's a scam. Let alone that I don't think why on earth we as translators would want the OSIT's mailing list. We are just members. We don't want the contacts. But as you can see, scammers can be very, very, very elaborate on their scams, and they can do anything and everything to try to scam you, and you have always to be one step ahead. And one step ahead is, first of all, don't trust anything. I know it's a very sad thing to say, but unfortunately we live in a world where this is happening. This is happening every day. Lots of companies are losing a lot of money over this because they see their branding stolen. They see scammers using their branding to impersonate them. Lots of translators and other service providers are being scammed as well, because they believe it's the legitimate company and they end up with either working for free or going into this test payment or whatever, and then get thousands of dollars taken. So we really need to protect ourselves. And in this day and age, I think protecting ourselves means being extremely skeptical about everything. I know I am. I don't trust any email, every single email that I receive, even if it's a company, even if it looks legit. I always look, yeah, is this true? Does this look okay? And of course, as translators, we have platforms like pros.com or Translators Cafe or something like that, where you can always go to the blue board and see what's there. Even if you are on a free membership, you won't be able to see the comments that other colleagues put in there if you are on a free membership, but you still are able to see the rating. So if you see that is a low rating, then it's your answer. It might be a bottom feeder, or usually if it's a scam, pros ban them. They don't allow that sort of thing happening. So be aware of this. Always go through all sorts of methods to secure yourself. First of all the details about the domain, on possible links they give you, even on that email account. Then the names that appear, have a look, see if that name has appeared elsewhere associated with a company or associated with a scam. Make sure that you have all these processes in place where you verify everything before you answer, because that would be an extra layer of protection for yourself. And of course, being skeptical is always a good thing. Unfortunately, we cannot be as trusting as we once were, because these days, these things are happening very, very, very frequently and very fast. The world lives on a fast pace, and I think that's one of the ways that they prey upon people, because they know people are time poor. They may think that people have no time to verify everything. They see a nice logo, they think it's the bank, they just go and they verify. They tell them to verify the account because the account is going to be closed or something like that. They click on the link because, oh my god, my account is going to be closed. What's going on? And then they are already capturing all the information and getting your details. So please be aware of this. Very predominant with bank, even with the ATO in Australia, even with the ATO, some people may send you links saying it's from your MyGov account, from the ATO, from Medicare. A lot of these emails are fake, and the ATO and the government has already come out several times telling people, we will not contact you asking you for any details or anything like that. A good thing, if you receive an email from, for example, saying that it's the ATO or it's the MyGov account or Medicare, you just log into your MyGov account through your phone or through your computer, but you log in, never with the link provided on the email, and you see if they have something to tell you, it will be there on the communication from the government. The information will be there, and they will be requesting whatever they need in there, so you go through there. Or in case you are still in doubt, you can contact the ATO, you can contact your MyGov, you can contact Medicare, you can contact these services and say, well, I received this email, is this legit? Never click on the links, because it might be a scam and it might cost you thousands of dollars. Please be aware of this. This is very, very dangerous, and it's been growing lately, and I believe AI is really aggravating this problem. And we all need to protect ourselves against it. And that's all for today. I hope you liked this Insider today. I hope it helped you somehow deal with this situation. It's been really, first of all, annoying because you get a huge influx of emails that you know is not true. Most of them sometimes offering you projects. Another thing is sometimes they offer you projects with very, very good rates. And once you see very good rates, offering you a good rate and something like that, it's usually a scam. We all know that. Usually agencies don't offer you that much. And you need to be aware of this. I mean, I don't mean to say that you should just delete the emails and not answer or anything like that, because it might be a really legitimate email and it might be a very good job collaboration proposal there that you can obviously go for, and that you can actually have a very good relationship and could be a good client. What I mean is, you need to be skeptical about it. You need to be cautious, and you need to go and verify all the details on that email, all the links, all the domains, etc., 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 just to make sure that you are not going to be scammed. Of course, there's always a level of risk involved. We never know, but we never know in any client. Sometimes we may be working with a client and they may not be a good client. It's always, that risk is always there. But I think if we try to protect ourselves more, if we try to avoid this type of thing, like trying to be one step ahead of the scammer, I think is a good way of dealing with these things. And of course, we need to question everything. I think these days, unfortunately, most of the things that we see, they're not true. And this goes for news. And this goes for news. And we need to question it. We need to really question, is this true? Is this not? And quite frankly, sometimes chances are it's not going to be true, and even with the news. So if we can't trust even the news, of course we can't be trusting with emails or a very nice flashy ad that we see on social media. So protect yourself. Make sure that you always double check every single detail on that email or every single detail on that ad to make sure that you're really going for the real thing and you're not going to be scammed. Now, if you have any questions about anything that I discussed in this insider or in any other insider, please leave a comment below. I'll be very, very happy to answer you. Or if you have any suggestion of some topic that you would like me to discuss in our insiders, just please put a comment below. I'll be very happy to address it. And the same, put a like on the video and subscribe the channel with a little click on the bell so you get a notification of a new insider every week. Of course, the channel has been growing. Thank you so much. But if you like, if you put a thumbs up, if you just share with your friends, put a comment, the YouTube algorithm picks up all that activity and distributes my content to more people, which in time will lead to the channel growing even more. So please just put a like and subscribe. Before I go, I would like to thank you all for watching. I'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.